This is the Women on the Edge of Attainment podcast. There will be women,
Two,
some edge,
but we are not edgy.
and we're pretty sure there'll be no attainment.
No fear of that.
With me, Laun Bowman.
And me, Osnat Krupnik Mas.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, just morning, to be honest.
Not that, it's not even that morningy anymore, and it's kind of miserable, like you,
Very friendly.
as always.
So supportive.
I know, we haven't seen one another for quite a while now, and I want you to know how I feel about you. You might have forgotten.
Oh, gee, thanks. I hadn't. I clearly have to move on to the topic at hand because this is
The topic. Your
Okay.
obsession. You have an obsession with topics.
I do. Structure, control.
Anal.
Structure and control. Some months ago, maybe, we were talking about topics, and one that came up was loneliness, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. And you said, but it's a good topic. And I said, no, it's a rubbish topic.
I didn't say it was a good topic. I said it's a topic.
Loneliness seemed like this abyss.
I made a list of topics.
Short
Then you have a whole debate with yourself mainly. I'm not part of it about which topic is appropriate and which not. And then you go and you do a research, and then you tell me we are going to talk about loneliness in this time. But then we come here. I don't know shit. I did not research it. I didn't do anything. Yet you come with articles, references, quotes, other galaxies, parallel universes about loneliness. And okay, carry on. Let's talk about being lonely.
So,
right now I feel very much... No, I don't. I'm actually quite... Carry on. Yeah,
you just said nothing, by the way.
I know. I said
Okay.
absolutely fuck all, and this is how I like it.
So the thing about the loneliness topic is, to me, it's like an abyss. It's a nothing. It's a dark hole.
It's a good film. Have you watched it? With Ed Harris.
I've watched a bit of it, actually, but because of the abyss feeling of it, the dark hole.
At least it
unknown.
says it does what it says on the tin. So loneliness.
No, that you just launched into it there. So I had, as I said, I didn't want to do this topic, but then there's this thing called the internet, and the one good thing about it is that any topic in the world, as you realize, is discoverable, is possibly understandable from a different perspective.
It's loneliness. You're not talking about quantum physics. You're talking as if it's something alien that you needed to research.
Felt all like all those things. I think.
What is wrong with you?
Loneliness just seems like a loneliness. What can I say about it? Nothing. It's painful and frustrating and annoying and shameful.
And a lot of time mistaken for being alone.
Yes, that too. So I read this thing.
Yeah.
And I have kept all the articles so we can add it to the show
Of
notes
course, yeah.
if we want to, if we should choose, about how loneliness, the feelings of loneliness protect us from isolation. Okay, because being alone is dangerous. Or on the savannah was dangerous. Way back when.
I don't know. I always lived in a city. I think that anyways, our instincts are so fucked. We cannot go back to what we were when we were living more like animals. Nowadays, it doesn't count, because you say if you feel loneliness would make you seek company. This is bullshit. You can be surrounded with friends and family, and everything on the outside looks like you're having the best time of your life, and you feel very, very lonely.
I think it's part of it. I get the fact that if you are alone in an environment, you are safer if you are with people. If you're in a big space, you're safer in groups than you are alone. So you're not buying the isolation. The other thing that I thought was interesting was feelings of loneliness encourage us to change our behavior because we don't like the feeling inside us.
But that's the thing. Today, I really do think that people that feel lonely, regardless if they are lonely or not, it leads to depression. And when you are depressed, the topic is completely different.
Do you not think... Okay, so In
Most
some cases,
people
it
that
leads to
feel
depression.
lonely, it's not in some cases. Most people that feel lonely, they feel isolated, they feel like everybody around them kind of fell into their social place, and they have nobody to speak to, they have nobody that have their backs, whatever the case may be, and then it's depression. And I think it is because our life is completely different from your savannah.
I think that people do seek out company. I think that you call a friend. Oh God, I know people don't really make phone calls anymore. You text a friend, which I don't think is a real connection.
Doesn't matter. You call a friend, you see a friend. As I said, you can sit with a friend in a pub over a pint and feel lonely. That's the thing. But it has nothing to do with the physicality.
Okay,
or talking.
but there are two things there. That's true. That could happen. But if you don't risk going for a drink with a friend, you might miss a connection. What is the opposite of loneliness? Oh my God. The list is so long. Feeling friendless and this is synonyms. Feeling friendless and forlorn.
And forlorn?
And forlorn.
Do you forlorn much?
Do I feel forlorn often?
Do you forlorn here often? Just go back and do the antonyms, please.
Right.
Apparently loneliness doesn't have an opposite.
Okay, let's try again. Populated.
Populated?
Befriended. Frequented. It's like somebody walks all over you. Loved.
Okay, so...
Unlonely.
Okay.
There's no word. There can't be a word. I'm unlonely. I'm unlonely.
Apparently there is.
Inhabited. One of my friends how does one inhabit? Frequented sounds like you're a bar. Okay. Populated sounds like you're a town.
My favorite antonyms for loneliness are definitely populated, frequented, and inhabited.
So I'm not feeling lonely, I'm feeling
Yeah,
inhabited.
So, on the days I'm feeling great, I will pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Laun, how are you doing? Today I feel so populated." No,
I feel inhabited by germs. So that's why I'm not lonely. I'm inhabited by germs today.
First of all, it's not germs, it's viruses.
Sorry.
Big difference. Second, I'm sure they are leaving you towards me right now. So don't get so...
But then you won't be lonely because you'll be inhabited.
I have worms, so I'm fine, I think.
Right, so there's different types of loneliness, which I find fascinating, and it made me feel less like an abyss and more like little puzzle pieces to put into the abyss.
But then it would disappear because you put it into the abyss.
Because you don't know where the end of the abyss is.
Haven't you... we talked... It's like... I'll go back to what I asked before. Haven't you watched the film?
I didn't. I told you. The film was too abyssy. Anyway, so there are types of loneliness. So I want to see what you think. Considering up to now you haven't connected with anything I've said. So there's new situation loneliness, where you move to a new town or get a new job.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have like connections and a network in this new place. So you feel alone. And my husband always says, "Can we move here?" And I go, another country, by the way. And I go, "No." And he goes, "Why?" And I go,
I moved here, and then I moved to South Africa, and then I came back here.
You obviously tolerate new situation loneliness with
But I don't feel lonely.
Is it all those voices?
I don't have any voices except my own. I don't listen. If it was, you see, the voices in my head, it has to be my own voice, because if it's anybody else's, I don't listen. There you go. But what I'm saying is that I didn't feel lonely. I felt like socially, I don't know anybody, but then I'm not the most sociable person, but I do like socializing under very strict regulations.
Can you give me an example of one of those regulations?
Don't be a pain. It's what I consider pain, which is,
of course,
varied. It can change from person to person.
Oh, wow. I think I have been told the best accessories to making friends are a dog or children.
That is true.
That's all you have to say?
Because it's true.
So the other type of loneliness is I am different loneliness.
But I am different.
Does that make you feel...
Why do you pet your knee when you... that?
I feel like the feel of my trousers. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you want me to leave you alone for a few minutes?
With
Do you need some me time?
With my knees.
I don't know. Because it started with the knee, but then when you showed me, it's going up and higher up your thighs.
They're my thighs. I don't really know. I'm not conscious of anything you're talking about. It just made me a little uncomfortable.
You're so naive, it's sweet. Yes.
I'm so naive, it's sweet. Am I naive about myself or the world?
Both. Let's carry on. Okay. Yeah, I'm different, loneliness.
Yes.
Fascinating stuff.
Well, you said you are different, but you don't feel lonely because of it. Or you
No,
do? Okay.
I don't. I was always different.
No, I definitely felt I am different loneliness. Very, very much so.
You never even found one person that was like-minded, or somebody that not necessarily was like-minded, but you enjoyed hanging out with and they enjoyed hanging out with you? You were always that different that you found...
No, it wasn't... There was more than one person, but I don't like being around lots of people, and which is helpful because not lots of people like being around me at the same time. I'm not sure why that's funny. I mean, it is funny. It is funny. And I'm very aware of my differentness. But the
thing is, how different are you really, and how different are you in your head? What is the
reality?
What is the reality of you being different? Because I look at you and I think you are quite conformist.
Conformist. Am I quite conformist?
I think you are.
I'm not. In my head, this is where it's confusing. So what I might say aloud to you to keep the peace, no, not to you, but to other people.
Yeah, I was wondering. It's like you tell me sometimes the most vile things. I'm like, this is you're keeping the peace. You can go join Donald Trump.
I don't say vile things to you about you. I say vile things to you about other people. Just to be clear.
She's gossiping about other people. So if you're friends of Laun, just know what happens behind closed doors when she speaks to me off record. What a good friend she is.
That's not true. Anyway, my opinion of you is none of your business, as they say.
I tell people what I think about them. I don't volunteer it, but if it's somebody that asks me what I think, I don't hold back. And also, if I think that somebody crossed a line, I would put them in their place.
Okay, so here's my problem. I am a people pleaser, but I do not like to lie. Because I'm stuck between... Like, imagine a little, sort of this one woman on the one side saying, this people pleaser. So imagine this woman dressed up she's a people pleaser. She dresses as everyone wants her to. She does what everyone wants her to, as she's expected. And the other side, I've got this truth teller kind of character who's like, don't lie to people. They won't appreciate it, and it gives you indigestion.
But then again, you are not lonely because you have two women with you the whole time. One is dressed up. What's the truth teller is doing? Is she naked?
No, truth teller is like...
Because you said there is one dressed up and then you switch to the truth teller, so I assume she is naked.
No, she's not naked.
The naked truth.
If she was naked, it would be much better because it's the naked truth. But she's more got like a sarong on and you know, sort of...
So you think she went to Woodstock, basically?
Something like that, yes. So yeah, at least they're women, you know?
I don't really care. You have two women with you. One apparently is dressed up and the other one went to Woodstock, yet she's still...
And she wants me to be honest.
And she wants you to be honest. She's probably on LSD. So therefore... it's
But that means I'm on LSD and I'm not. So
no, it's the woman.
I'm missing out.
These women do they look like you, or it's just random women you've never seen before? Or
no, they don't look like me.
So
one looks like Mrs. Doubtfire.
So that's a man.
No, she's a woman.
No, Mrs. Doubtfire was not a woman. It wasn't. It has nothing to do with gender. It was a man dressed like an old woman in order to see his kids, which he couldn't because he got divorced. That's Mrs. Doubtfire. So one of them looks like a man trying to see his kids because in the divorce settlement he was not allowed, and this person wants to please everybody. And the other one, what does it look like?
Deborah Francis White.
From all the people. So now you have a half-naked Deborah Francis White on your shoulder telling you to say the truth.
Yes.
Is Deborah aware of this? I think I should tweet her or something.
I don't think she's aware of it.
I'm definitely going to draw her attention to this, because not only she is half naked, she's wearing a sarong. Apparently you sent her to Woodstock and she's on LSD.
No,
what did this woman do to you? I thought you liked her.
You put on LSD, not me.
Because you put her in Woodstock with her sarong.
Not all sarong wearers take LSD.
In Woodstock they did.
Anyway, now that we've really dressed them both up, remember the one says...
Deborah, I do apologize.
We feel like we know you.
I don't know. It's you. Don't say we unless you are talking about you and your viruses, because I don't have Deborah on my shoulder in a very weird and uncomfortable scenario.
Because I'm inhabited.
I thought you were
so I can't be lonely.
You're populated.
Okay, so...
You're populated by Robin Williams and Deborah Frank.
So maybe I feel I'm different loneliness because
of Robin and Deborah.
Robin and Deborah, yes. This is even too funny for me.
I'm surprised I'm even here, and I have very high tolerance towards weirdos.
So wait, now I am weird.
You're different weird. You're different even than me. Even the weirdos who thought I was a weirdo would say, no, you're actually fine. She's the problem.
You told me I looked very conformist to you.
No, but then you opened your mouth. You still look very conform, but then you opened your mouth and you just said what goes on. Maybe you shouldn't be so frank with me.
Now you're calling me frank.
Please, let's go to the third kind of loneliness.
The next one.
Yes.
Is called such a sweet list. No sweetheart loneliness.
Oh, but you don't have a boyfriend and everybody else does, or you don't have a girlfriend, or you don't have a partner, or you don't...
it's just you don't have an intimate relationship or a partner. It's not that not in comparison to everybody else. It's just that you don't have one.
But
we'll get to that one, but that you're talking about later.
There is more. You said 3.
No, there's more than 3.
Oh, and all of a sudden now you tell me the list is longer? Fuck me.
But hold
okay,
on.
Fine.
But wait, Robin and Deborah
and you. But it's 3.
Those are 3. I mean, I'm in good company.
No, we are not going back. We are not going back to your hallucinations. We are now with the no sweetheart, right. And usually you feel lonely when you don't have a what is stupid thing? Sweetheart. It's not like we're in the 1950s reenacting Greece.
When you don't have a partner.
But Greece, the film, not the country. But sorry. But what I mean is, you would feel this if all your friends around you are in a relationship. Because if all your friends don't have a sweetheart, you guys are having a blast.
The comparison component isn't part of this. They're just saying that, as I understand it, that it's a presumption, actually, that we all desire to be in a partnership, right? And then when we don't have a partner, we feel lonely. But first of all, that's a presumption that we all desire to have a partner.
It's bullshit. Whoever wrote this, seriously, I don't know when it was written, but it's very old-fashioned.
Me with the abyss, but anyway.
Yeah, but it's very old-fashioned and closed-minded to assume this.
I think you will disagree when you hear the next one.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
No animal loneliness.
With that, I agree.
I didn't even consider there was a thing like this.
If you have a cat, it doesn't take away from your loneliness when as a whole. You have something to talk to, and you don't feel like you're walking around in the house talking to yourself, although it's a cat. But dogs, for example, I think dogs are a brilliant thing for treatment with loneliness, with depression, with a physical aspect of things, because you have to get out of the house.
Okay, so this list is completely different, and it talks about this is born out of a need to have an animal companion, like you actually want a companion who's an animal, and you did sort of talk about that, but then saying that you've grown up with dogs and being with animals keeps you calm.
Yeah.
In the time in your life when you had pets, were you calmer, do you think?
No, because I'm deranged. I had a gecko, and it's so weird. It is so weird because geckos don't see very well. They see movement. So you have to buy live crickets to feed them. And then you have to feed the fucking crickets or else they die. So I used to buy food for my pets' food. And the problem was those crickets jump the fuckers. So when you open the place where you keep the crickets in order to release them into the vivarium where your gecko is, some of them might not jump in the direction you desire.
So just, you've got crickets, you had to buy food to feed the
And
crickets.
I sat in London feeling like I'm in the savannah because the crickets were, it felt like I'm doing stand-up again. The sound of crickets was in the background constantly.
So just having the reptile, that was...
It didn't ease my loneliness, I can tell you, but it was so much fun because they have to be under a hot light because they can't keep themselves warm. But I used to take her a few times a day out of the vivarium and just put her on my arm, and then she would walk on my head and on my arms.
So no, I did help with your loneliness because there was...
I had a husband and 2 kids. I was not lonely.
You just told me you can have millions of people around you and still be lonely.
I know, but I didn't feel lonely. What can I say? She didn't relieve my loneliness because I wasn't feeling lonely. But it was so nice to get her to walk on me. It was a nice feeling.
And she didn't want anything from you.
What did she want from me?
No, I'm saying she didn't want anything from you.
No,
whereas everybody else wants things from you.
Yeah, everybody else needed something.
Well, she needed the crickets.
Yeah, but you feed them like once, twice a week. Depends on the size of the crickets.
So you had to keep sort of a supply of crickets for once or
Yeah,
twice
for
a
a
week.
month. That's why I had to feed them. You don't buy it per cricket. You buy a box of crickets.
So in fact you had 2 pets. The crickets.
No, the crickets were loads. I had like at the beginning of the month when I would get my supply, I can say that I had 30 something, probably pets.
And where do you get crickets from?
Pets at Home and
Okay.
online. I'm sure that, hey, Pets at Home, do you want to sponsor us? I used to buy crickets from you.
So the next type of loneliness, I'm going to have to explain because it's called no time for me loneliness, which you would think would mean, in our age of self-care that you don't have time for yourself, but it doesn't mean that. It means people greet you, but they won't have a long conversation with you. So example is when you drop your kids at school, the other moms might greet you, but they won't have a long chat.
Stop being a pain. Maybe they'll have chats
or
with
go
you.
for coffee with you or whatever. You want a deeper connection, but the people that you see on the walk to school or at your
But you need to be proactive.
house of worship or whatever. No, I'm just saying. I think is it Switzerland where it takes years to make friends. So people will greet you in the street for years and years and years and years, but or at the pub.
Not everybody I greet in the street or in the pub. Okay, I don't go. Or at the shops or at the park.
Yes.
Are people that I want
Yes.
to take it further.
There are lots of moms at school. I don't expect all of them to be my friends, and I don't need them to be, and I don't want them to be.
Sometimes I do feel like the problem is when you want to become friends with somebody and you don't know how to be proactive and do the first move, and this person is not aware. It's not something personal against you necessarily. They say hello, they are being polite, they are being friendly, but you don't show them any signs that you are interested in, let's go grab coffee. So you don't say anything. You expect the other people to be the ones to...
I always expect a request.
To ask you out.
I always expect someone to ask me out. I have to... Because I don't expect anybody who wants to spend time with me.
So impose it on them. Shall we do some coffee? I'm free tomorrow. You? Great.
No, I just...
Book it in.
I think my point is by default...
Do your Google Diary invitation. You love those.
I just expect that people don't want to spend time with me. So when...
But that is nothing... Excuse me. Now you are going to the self-acceptance and self-hatred.
No, it's not. I have my friends and I'm grateful for them and they fill my life. But
you sound so wholesome. My God, I'm expecting some praise the Lord, woman.
No, they do. My friends do fill my life. I'm grateful. I put no effort into this though, and I don't think about it a lot. Unless somebody says to me, "Let's go for coffee," I never think about making a new friend. It never crosses my mind.
We are new friends.
Yes. You're weird, though. You didn't go... You didn't...
Yes, Captain Obvious. Yeah.
You didn't phone me and say, can we go for a coffee?
No.
No, you didn't say that.
I didn't.
You weren't... You did... It's... We went from...
I was very business.
Yes, we went... We didn't even go on dates. We got married.
Yeah, that is true.
There was no discussion. She phoned and said, I want to make... I see you want to make podcasts. I wanted to. Let's make one. I was like, okay. There wasn't even... We didn't got to go on dates. You didn't buy me coffee. None of that. You just said, let's get married.
Hey, no, first of all, I did not say let's get married. I said let's go in bed together.
Oh.
But I'm still fucking you.
So the next one was, so the title is untrustworthy friend loneliness, which I would just call toxic friend loneliness.
Yeah, I cut them out.
I have to say that I thought I had no toxic friends for years. And then came to...
Because you're such a people's pleaser, you didn't even see how they are grinding you down.
Yeah. In my life, I've either not noticed the toxic friends or just not had a lot of them.
I'm sure I was considered a toxic friend by some people who are no longer my friends.
They chose not to be, or you chose not to be?
No, some people chose not to be my friend. It's not all the people that I stopped being friends with. It was because I was like, oh, that's it. You're done. It's like, we no longer need your...
services.
Yeah. No, I was dumped by friends as well.
So I had a toxic friend, which I didn't realize. It was in plain sight. And only after we just stopped talking as much as we did I realize the person was toxic.
A lot of times people would put you down in order to feel better with themselves, not because these are the strict regulations and standards they have for themselves. It's like, no, you feel the niche of the friend that doesn't take risks, for example, and all of a sudden you say, oh, I want to do this. And it's quite daring for your personality in their world, not... It has nothing to do with you.
In the narrative they have of their life and you.
So
yes.
they have to put you back in the submissive, oh, I'm so scared of doing things, in order to keep the status quo in their head that they are better than you because they do take risks and they go for challenges.
I'm now feeling sorry for my friends because to put me in a box, okay, and expect me to respond in any given moment as you hope is impossible.
Why? If it's a fridge-sized box, you'll be fine. What box did you think about?
You just never know what you're going to get from me. But it's not like I'm trying to be dramatic. If I go out for coffee with friends, I tell them what's on my mind.
I think we reached the last type of loneliness.
We're nearly there. Right, so the last one is called quiet presence loneliness. I think this might make you puke if I understand your personality.
Where is the
correctly.
bucket?
Okay, so it's when you can sit in the same room as someone and read a book with them and not feel uncomfortable.
But why is this a type of loneliness? Unless it's constantly somebody is avoiding interacting with you.
No. It's talking about just wanting to be in a room with somebody else and not necessarily talk to them.
I don't understand why is it loneliness.
It's the loneliness of not having somebody that you can just be in a room with and not talk to.
Oh, it's if you don't have it.
Yes.
Okay. But isn't that the same as the sweetheart thing?
No, because you can have it with a flatmate. You can have it with your family. Was there anything else connected with this that I wanted to say?
I don't know. You're the one with the lists. You did the research of loneliness, and we found out some slightly savory, facts about you.
So we are done with loneliness for this time.
It was too crowded, populated, inhabited, and what was the other thing?
If you were in a porn film, how would you react if your partner said, I want to connect with you?
So slap it in already. What are you waiting for?
You have been listening to the Women on the Edge of Attainment podcast with me, Laun Bowman.
And me, Osnat Krupnik-Maas.
If you enjoyed it, subscribe, like, and share with as many people as possible.
If you disliked it, share it with as many people as possible, so they can suffer too, the bastards.
Follow us on Twitter at WTEAPod or on our Facebook page. You can also email us on wteapod@gmail.com or stalk us individually on Twitter at @b_lawn
and Mass Life. Music by audionautics.com.